This all starts with a man named Russell C. Wendell, which is another donut guy name.
Where's the Randy?
We'll get to Randy.
Okay.
Russell C. Wendell is also the man credited with opening Pup and Taco in 1956.
Really? Wow.
Same guy. I couldn't find too much about Russell Wendell other than he was a salesman of donut machines who decided to go into the donut business
Wait a
himself.
minute. I'm the donut machine.
Yeah, I don't need machines. I could be the machine.
He like bursts through his shirt.
Well, so in 1951, well into the programmatic, fun, eye-catching...
Mimetic, my boy.
Johnny Mnemonic. Russell Wendell opened his big donut drive-in chain, which we talked about, what Charles Phoenix mentioned to us. Which
Can't get it. This is sponsored by Charles Phoenix this episode.
drive-in chain is really confusing because, like, I thought, like, why is a drive-in movie theater donut themed? But they meant drive-throughs, but drive-throughs weren't really a thing yet. It happened in San Diego like the same year, I think. So he was getting there. So instead of a dine-in restaurant, this would be a drive-in shack, more accurately, drive-up shack, which is also confusing.
What's up, Shaq?
A lot, actually. The first big donut Wendell opened was in Westmont, just east of Inglewood, 1003 South Normandy Avenue at the corner of Century Boulevard. To design this one and subsequent shacks, Wendell went to architect Harry J. Goodwin, possibly along with structural engineer Richard Bradshaw, who had his hands in on the LAX theme building to create the iconic look of a humble little mid-century shack with a big donut perched up top. The donut itself is 45 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
32 feet across, weighing in at 15,000 pounds, and you got to eat all of it.
Now say it like a wrestling announcer. Weighing in.
45 feet tall and 32 feet across, weighing in at 15,000 pounds. You got to eat it all. Randy's Big Donut.
And in this corner, Joe Lewis.
Regular old Joe Lewis. Joe
Human
Lewis
size.
wins.
The very human, not a donut, Joe Lewis.
Whose body looks like he maybe ate too many donuts. Nah, probably not. The donut itself is made of steel and cement. And Bradshaw
maple steel?
Cement with sprinkles on it. Bradshaw used rolled steel bars to create the round shape and covered them with a concrete blend of sand, cement, and water applied with using a high-pressure hose and painted a nice golden brown to tantalize drivers. His first one in Westmont had a big donut on it.
Right, because I've seen several in the South Bay sort of area,
Yeah.
South LA. Like there's a lot of remaining large, not as big, but there's remaining large donuts around.
Yeah, and you see it and you're like, I see, it's sort of like the X Factor. Like there was a lot of comedians in the 80s, but Eddie Murphy was the one that took the cake because he had the thing.
There's a lot of donut shacks with rolled up jacket sleeves wearing sneakers and a suit. It's like the Muffler Man, but it's an 80s comedian.
Andrew Dice Clay doesn't look far off from the Muffler Man.
Except he's holding a sexist joke.
The shack must have been a success because in 1953, Wendell built another shack with the same design in Inglewood at 805 West Manchester Boulevard, corner of Manchester and La Cienega.
That's the one now.
So
our. This was the second one. That's our Big Donut.
That's our Big Donut. Our Big Donut is the second location of the Big Donuts. 8 more Big Donuts would follow. In total, there'd be 10 locations of Big Donuts in the sky between 1950 and 1960.
Couldn't even get to a dozen.
I ate the first 2 in the car. Sorry.
It's a bring donut to work situation. They come in 10s? Yeah.
Yeah, the way that you could buy them at the place I went to. They only did it today, so don't call and ask them about it. And
their phones are broken because the other donuts fell on the phone.
Well, a bear claw fell on it and you can't pick it up. So
they're waiting for the wildlife department to come take this bear claw out.
After the Inglewood donut, there'd be donuts in Gardena, Culver City, Compton, North Hollywood, another one in Inglewood on Imperial, Bellflower, Van Nuys, and a Reseda at 7209 Reseda Boulevard along Sherman Way.
Really?
Now a 76 station. Yeah. Through the ages, though, 6 would be demolished and 4 would remain with different names added to donuts. The original Westmont donut is now a Kindle's Donuts. The Gardena donut is now Donut King number 2.
Yeah, that's the one I've seen. I think.
Yeah. I think you've brought that up before. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, the pretender to the throne.
Yeah, I had a dream that you brought it up. Compton's donut is Dale's.
Daniel came to me in a dream and he told me about a donut he ate.
Not far off from Twin Peaks. Donuts included. Dale's.
And he was speaking backwards like he does when he talks about after he's eaten donuts.
His eyes start blinking weird. You think it's some sort of message, but
he does his backwards donut dance,
which might be a symptom of diabetes. I haven't really looked into it. Compton's donut is Dale's donut, and the Bellflower donut got converted to Bellflower Bagels. Bagels, Bagels, the ugly cousin of donuts. Yes.
Okay, that's anti-Semitic. But that's so funny to go to a donut, go up to a bagel place and there's just cream cheese sticking out the side.
that's either bacon strips or bacon.
You can really smell the locks on this. That's what I think that Randy's Donuts should emit like donut smell out of it, like an air freshener.
Yeah.
And it kills so much of the ozone.
And then sometimes they give you a piece of it.
Every 100 donuts you buy with a punch card, you get to bite into that cement.
They put a big ladder up.
And then you get to go to the dentists who work at Yum Yum, as we've established.
The Inglewood Manchester donut, the second location, would be bought in the 70s by a man named Robert Escow and would be named after his son, Randy.
Okay.
Because he didn't want to name it
Escow.
Yeah, he did not want to name it after himself. This would become Randy's Donuts and Sandwiches.
How old was his son? Was his son like a little boy and he's like, hey, look at this.
My name's on something. That means I own the franchise.
Today I am a man. Today I fire my father.
Yesterday I was a cub paw, but today I'm a bear claw. So if there are still 5 surviving locations with a big donut, why is only one of them iconic?
Yeah.
Well, a particularly weird and awful thing began construction in 1957 and by 1964 would be complete, and that would be the Interstate 405. And as it happens, the 405 freeway would be one of the freeways that run near LAX, and Randy's is only 9 minutes away. And if you're
you
stuck,
can see it from the freeway.
You could see it from the... and stuck in traffic, either departing or arriving from LAX, you would get a glimpse.
You can see it on the freeway.
You want to read this? Do you want to read this?
Good luck. It's in my my cipher, my trademark cipher.
And stuck in traffic, either departing or arriving, you would get a glimpse of a big donut in the sky. One of the most effective billboards, along with the Hollywood sign.
My favorite song by, it's not T-Rex. Who does Spirit in the Sky?
Jeez, who does Spirit? Bauhaus does a cover, but who does the original?
Oh God, I don't. Wasn't it one of those guys? No, maybe I'm thinking of American Woman, where he just like did one song and then literally bought a farm and like never made music again.
It's not the Jay Giles. Who the hell?
No, it's definitely not the. If I know one thing, it's never the Jay Giles band.
No, he sings about centerfold ladies.
And yeah, I think that's it.
Listen, I don't know who sings Spirit in the Sky.
I think his name is like Norman Greenbaum or something. Speaking of the bagel shop.
He retired and opened up a bagel shop.
A bagel farm.
He raises bagels. He has a dog that chases bagels around the yard. The Big Donut Sky is one of the most effective billboards in LA history, along with the Hollywood sign and Angeline's main export, which is Angeline. Some people have claimed that you can even see Randy's Donuts while landing at LAX.
I believe you can. Yeah. If you have the right seat. If you got the Randy special seat on a plane.
It's a little bit more expensive, and you have to take your shoes off for longer, but if you get it, then I'd say take it. Also, if there's an emergency on the plane,
if there's an emergency, you have to be prepared to give donuts to everybody on the plane. And if you're not, you better sit somewhere else.
If you're in the Randy seat, when the oxygen comes out, it's just a bunch of donuts.
It falls all over
you. So hold your breath. Yeah. Also helping its popularity was the fact that it was and still is open 24 hours a day.
That's good to know.
To close up Wendell's story, he started selling off the Big Donut chains to fund his next project. After seeing how well drive-through hamburger stands were doing, he went off and created Pup and Taco, a cutesy 60s eatery that served hot dogs, tacos, and pastrami Sammys. Most of them eventually became Taco Bell in 1984, and the surviving Pup and Tacos are located in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so send your parents there.
Interesting.
But just 2 years.
Tell me what to do. Your parents. Send your parents.
Send your parents. And you know what to tell your little parents? Tell them to bring back a pastrami Sammy for Greg, because if they like this podcast, they know I love pastrami sandwiches, and I think that they like me a little bit more. They didn't like. I don't think they liked me before, but now that they listen to this podcast,
they like you more than me. They say, and they explicitly say so.
Because they now like, oh, you tolerate him too. You're part of the family. They said, oh, you didn't know that we talk on the phone.
You didn't come to a special Passover that we had?
They let me read the Seder.
I got to eat right off the Seder plate. That shank bone is delicious.
I was told to say. But just 2 years after Robert Escow bought the Big Donut off of Wendell and created Randy's Donuts and Sandwiches, he was looking to offload it. He went on to sell it to his two cousins, Ron and Larry Weintraub, who owned the store for close to 40 years. During their ownership is when Randy's Donuts became LA iconography. Apart from being a local landmark, you can see that Randy's Donuts pop up in pop culture quite often. Here comes the movies. Earth Girls Are Easy, the American remake of Breathless.
Okay. I didn't even know that existed.
And
it happens at Randy's Donuts?
All of it. It's like Reservoir Dogs. It all happens at Randy's Donuts. Problem Child 2, Strip to Kill, The Golden Child, 2012, Volcano, a movie called Love Letters, Crocodile Dundee in LA, Iron Man 2, where Iron Man...
You call that a donut?
This is a donut. It's a bagel. He almost got it. Iron Man 2. So it's in the MCU canon now, and he sits in the donut.
What's its superpower? How many did it disappear when Thanos?
Half
snapped?
of it when the blip.
Every dozen donuts became 6. It was tragic. And now those other 6 donuts, how are they going to cope with this new world?
And how's everyone talking about it? Is there a discrepancy between the experiences between the people that stayed and the people who went? People who went are just like, oh, what happened in my house? And Mars Attacks.
Oh, I don't remember it in Mars Attacks.
Me neither.
It's like the most famous scene from Mars Attacks.
They're just eating it, and we're like, I don't remember that. It's like the thing that kills the aliens at the end.
No, that's Tom Jones. I remember that much.
The shows Arrested Development, Californication, and was the inspiration for Colossal Donuts in the Treehouse of Horror segment from The Simpsons, and was in the music video for Randy Newman's I Love LA, which Randy's Donuts is it's named after him.
He was that little boy?
He's that little boy, and he grew up to be
Randy Weintraub or whatever. He changed his name and somehow became part of one of the most famous movie families in history. Wow.
How do you do it?
A little bit like this. I got a donut shop.
He's such a prolific musician, and we literally know him for 2 things. Yeah.
We know him for 2 things that we keep mixing up.
So Ron and Larry Weintraub, who owned the shack until 2015, when they decided to retire and sold it to an attorney and entrepreneur, Mike Callaghan. Callaghan bought Randy's Donuts, this little donut shop in Inglewood, for $2 million, and has been putting a lot of effort into expanding the brand.
Honestly, that's kind of cheap, especially considering like you own the brand of Randy's Donuts.
We could have put $2 million.
I mean, you have a full-time job. Embezzle money.
Yeah. I
embezzle money.
Tax fraud. I watched that documentary on Netflix. Now I know how to. They gave you way too much information on how to do it, and you're like, oh, geez, that's not that hard. All I need is a VPN.
Look, we could have easily bought a $2 million one donut shop.
I know our investments. We're going to buy the Wetzel's Pretzels at Union Station, and
we were going to buy the subway attached to the Bradbury building, and that fell through.
The red tape. So we're going to put a big pretzel on top of Union Station. It's going to be very classy
on every train, and it just like breaks on their first ride for each one.
We're not here to talk about Wetzel's Pretzels, okay? So anyways, they're putting a lot of effort into expanding the brand. So a lot of branches have been opening up. There's Santa Monica, Downey, Burbank, Pasadena, Torrance, Santa Ana, Bakersfield. There's a Randy's Donut kiosk opened in the Westfield Century City Mall. I hope they have a to-scale donut on the kiosk. Al Segundo.
Yeah, it's like a little one-person booth, but it's still a 45-foot donut on top.
Al Segundo at the Apollo Landing in 2018 opened, and Costa Mesa in 2021. That was a pretty big donut. Callaghan is taking the Big Donut International with 4 big donuts in South Korea, Saudi Arabia, and soon the Philippines.
Wow.
I went to the one in Burbank today, which was very nice, and it's by the Burbank Airport.
Brand new.
Not a big donut, but that's fine.
Well, a plane would crash. I mean, I guess the other one's kind of, but this is like almost on the runway in Burbank.
It would have got clipped, yeah.
Or unless they make it so big that they fly through the donut.
It. Yeah. Bitchin' idea. Calcaglian. The bummer about the new donuts is they don't have the big donut, obviously. Callaghan says because most cities have stupid idiot rules about stupid size and dumb height and
this is an exact
appearance.
Quote?
No, it's me. A stupid appearance of any signage. So like a lot of cities have regulations that you can't put a big donut.
No
in the
donut
sky.
Can be taller than City Hall.
The mayor has to have an equivalent donut-sized donut.
Yeah, the mayor will get self-conscious.
In 2019, the golden brown on the big donut was painted yellow in support of the LA Rams with a little Nike logo on it. Just eat it. It's said that the kiosk of the Westfield and Century City sells about 1,000 donuts a day that and actually baked in Inglewood at the shack, and then the shack itself sells close to 10,000 donuts a day.
That's insane.
There's
crazy. No way.
I went and it was like, I don't want to say it was empty. There were other people there, but there was not like a line around the block, but maybe like
one person buys 9,998 donuts.
Very hungry guy.
And that guy, Randy Newman.
He can afford it.
I got a big appetite.
I wonder if it gets crazy in the morning.
I imagine there are certain, like probably like 6 a.m. to like 9 a.m. That's like 5,000 donuts.
And then I just wrote the entire menu online. I don't know if you want me to read that, but I will read the premium selections. So matcha tea raised, coffee raised, M&M's raised, Oreos raised.
Oh, the guy who stomped Moby? Oh, no. The guy who rapped about Moby getting stomped by Obi.
He didn't do it. Yeah. He rapped about it. Fruity Pebbles raised, maple raised with churros. S'mores, bacon maple long john.
You know I don't eat bacon.
It's for me. So you don't eat bacon? All the listeners can eat bacon now?
Yeah. If you listen to this, you can't be vaccinated. And you also have to keep kosher.
Keep safe. Keep kosher. Randy's Donut.
Be happy. Be kosher.
They also have cookies and brownies and all at a very affordable price. If you're a customer at the Inglewood, Manchester Randy's Donuts, you are part of Los Angeles iconography, akin to being at Union Station or LAX or walking the trail to the Hollywood sign, except none of those places have donuts. That's Randy's donuts.
Not intentionally. How much were these donuts? Because you got three. Okay, you've got 3 donuts here. You went crazy at Randy's Donuts.
I did. We got the coffee raised. That was $3, and the
I'm not paying you back. Whoa.
It's coming out of the fund. The old fashioned and the glazed raised were $1.50 each, so it came out to like $3.
Glazed, raised, and full of maize. Okay, let's start with the glazed one. Let's try this. Oh, I think I've only had Randy's once, the original one.
Me too.
Well, you just jump right in there. Sniff it, man.
No,
Sniff it.
no,
Sniff
hungry
it, my boy.
Oh no, I got glaze in my nose. That's pretty good. That's rich.
That's a good glazed donut. It's not that sweet, but it's very soft. It tastes very good.
Yeah, very sweet, but maybe
Again, one of us has COVID.
it's
Tastes like dead nose cells. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, you want to do the old fashioned now?
Yeah.
I typically, the only time I order an old fashioned is if I'm like really hungry, because these are so dense.
They're dense. They're heavy. You get it with coffee at Dunkin'. It's the only way you can break it down.
But this is a glazed old fashioned.
Oh, it is. Yeah. That tastes good though.
It's pretty good. I like the density. Honestly, these donuts could be sweeter for me. It might just be my COVID residue, but I feel like these could be sweeter.
I think it's pretty sweet. That's hard though.
I like that because it's almost like a cake I'm eating. And anytime I'm eating a cake is something I like that.
I'm into it.
That was pretty. Okay, what is this? A mocha what?
No, it's a coffee raised, I believe.
Smells like coffee.
Yeah, it smells like cigarettes, you're right. Look how thick the frosting is on it. That's a thick layer of it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite one so far. And I don't even like coffee flavored stuff that much, but this is really good.
Just hit me, yeah.
I really like the frosting on it.
It's very
whatever
soft.
you call it.
Yeah, that's very coffee-y.
I'll save you for later.
I need some real food.
Yeah. And our final segment, steak dinners. I really like that coffee one. That was very good. You can really taste the $3 that I'm not paying you for.